If you need that, okay, you did not receive that. Let me. I will just allow for your camera and microphone when it's time for you, because I would hate to keep people waiting while I figure out how to email that. But anyway, so welcome everybody. Thank you for being here for our first Supports Through the Lifespan event of 2026. My name's Mallory, and I'm the Community Relations Specialist of the Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities. This webinar is a continuation of a series of webinars that we had last year that just hit on topics that we have, been told are of interest to the folks that we serve. So if you're watching this right now, or if you're watching it after the fact, please feel free to reach out to myself or any of our wonderful panelists here to learn about how to find belonging in the new year. I know that when I was an SSA, that was one of the biggest questions that I received from folks was, how do I find people that share my interests, or how do I get involved in the community? And so hopefully by watching this or being here with us today, you will be able to find something that piques your interest and will get you connected. So we have a bunch of wonderful speakers here today. I am going to actually start. Unfortunately, our representative from Aktion Club was unable to make it today, but he did send me his PowerPoint. So I'm just going to go through that. And if you have any questions, I will include his information in the chats so that you can reach out to Dick at a later time. So let me see here. Can you see my screen? The Aktion Club. Yes. Okay. Victory number one. Okay, so as I said, Dick Brulette is the leader of our Kiwanis Action Club, and this is targeted at for folks with disabilities to give back in a service capacity into to their communities. This is the only service club for adults living with disabilities, and it takes place in 15 nations, and there's over 10,000 members. And we're lucky enough to have one here in Delaware, run by Dick and some of his colleagues. So if you want to join and become an Action Club member, these are the criteria. He got fancy with his effects. So you have to be an adult living with an intellectual or developmental disability, and you have to be at least 18 years old. I'm sure the cap at 80 is maybe just their oldest member. If you're 84, 85, 105, I'm sure they would love to have you. But it looks like it is for adults with disabilities that are in our community. And then what's in it for you? Again, we talk a lot about socialization and just getting out and integrated into the community. So there's socialization with friends. It helps to develop organization, decision making, and leadership skills. You can learn how to work with others and in teams, and it helps to build your self-confidence and self-worth. Giving back to the community is definitely a great way to become more confident in yourself. So why should you join Action Club? So members get to perform community service. I know I've seen them out and about at First Friday, doing different projects, and they also help to make their communities and world a better place. Which, why wouldn't you want to do that? And everyone can have an opportunity to do so. So the Action Club closest to us here in Delaware County is actually hosted by the Alpha Group. And the sponsors are the Kiwanis Clubs of Delaware and Delaware County. So nice, close to home at the Alpha Group. And I think they have folks in their day program that participate throughout the day, in addition to having some after hours activities. So one of the things that Dick did share in his email when he sent this presentation was that they are currently doing virtual meetings. So unfortunately, this slide isn't necessarily accurate at the moment, but he said they meet on the fourth Monday of the month. So in January, that will be January 26th, and they're meeting virtually this month. So if you are interested in joining, this is Dick's email, Richard Brulot.actionclub@gmail.com. And he said that if you are interested in participating or interested in learning more, to just send him an email. Feel free to join on that Monday, January 26th. That looks like it's from 7 p.m. And you can learn more about what the Action Club does and how to get involved. And again, there's his email again. Thank you, Mackenzie, for including it in the chats. This girl looks like she's very excited to be a part of Action Club, so you could be just as excited to be a member of Action Club in 2026. And so that, my friends, is all about Action Club. So thank you so much. I wasn't expecting to speak that much during this presentation, but hopefully I did Action Club some justice. And so with that said, we are now moving on to our wonderful presenters from the Autism Society of Central Ohio. We have Ginny Bryan and Amy Zender. And I am going to pass it off to you and get your presentation ready to go. Okay, can we see the presentation now?
Not yet.
Not quite.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Perfect. You know, we had to have a couple hiccups to keep us humble. Okay, now can
It's
we see
looking
it?
good now. Yes.
Yep. Perfect. All right, I'm going to mute my mic and I will hand it off to you.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Ginny Bryan. I am the operations manager for the Autism Society Central Ohio. And with me today is our wonderful board president, Amy Zender. We are super excited to talk a little bit about what we do and how you can become involved with the Autism Society. Next slide.
And of course, this is all our information, and it'll be at the end too.
So the Autism Society Central Ohio, we serve 12 counties, Delaware being one of them. And unfortunately, this site is a little old because this year, actually 2025, we celebrated 30 years. So we have been around, we have been serving 12 Central Ohio counties for 30 years, and we're super proud about them. Next slide.
Yeah, we're just here to help you create those connections. We really don't want families to feel isolated. So they get to know each other, but then also connect them with all the resources like that we're learning about today and through the county board and everyone else. And we just really want to get everyone supported with what they need and when they need it. So next slide.
So one big thing that we do is we do a lot of educational presentations for our families. Up on the slide are some of our most popular ones that we try to do yearly. We are always open to do new educational programs. We just work really hard to try to find presentations that are helpful for our families, but potty training, picky eating, the estate planning, all of that, we find it to be very, very beneficial to the families that we serve. Next slide.
And of course, advocacy. So we really want to stay on top of what's going on in our communities at the state and the local and the federal levels. Everything's always changing and moving parts. So not only do we want to stay up to date, we want to make sure that you guys stay up to date as well. So next slide.
Support. A big part of what we do support groups. We want you to find your community. We want you to be able to celebrate all of those small little milestones. We want you to be able to have a place where you feel like you can talk freely. There's no judgment, and really find support amongst this group. So we have 11 social and support groups. We call them Coffee, Tea, Autism, and More. Some of the highlighted ones are we have ones for parents and caregivers. We no longer do our high resources. We do several adult social groups in person, and we also do virtual, and we have 2 virtual adult support groups. Our teen social group right now is taking a break until probably September of 2026. And we have a Spanish, kind of a bilingual support group as well. Next
And we
slide.
definitely have one in Delaware.
Yes.
You'll see me
That's
at it if you
Amy,
come.
yep.
And with Laura, she is also there along for the ride for me. We do meet the second Sundays of every month up at New Beginnings Church. They kindly let us use one of their rooms. We truly hang out and just have a good time and, get to swap those stories without having to explain autism first, really getting kind of some unique looks at things. It's a good time and very insightful. We always go away going, oh, that was that was some good chats. So, but yeah, if you have any information that you need or questions, ask. And that's what that email on there actually goes to Ginny. She will respond to you. And if Ginny doesn't know, which she does, she's got a lot of knowledge. If she does not know, she will figure out who to send you to get the answer to your question. So next slide.
Community inclusion, huge part of what we do. We want our families to get out in the community. I think a lot of families with disabilities feel isolated. I know that's a theme that's probably going to come up a lot today. And so we want to provide a very non-judgmental environment where our families feel comfortable and have the opportunity to be with their families, meet other families, interact, but most importantly, have fun and just be part of the community. We just love to get our families out there. Next slide.
And we do that we've rented out, that's the Westerville pool that you see there, some jump things and some kayaking. We really want to create, and you can switch slides too and kind of show off some pictures. We really want to create opportunities of maybe things that you wouldn't try on your own. We did some horseback riding, some therapeutic horseback riding. So, you may not want to jump on that wait list and commit to paying for lessons without seeing if your kid will even touch a horse. And then of course we like to get through the holidays and create those events for families like our trunk or treats and our Easter and our Santa events to give them what they need for the holidays and be able to experience in your own way and create your own family traditions. So, and then of course, you'll find Ginny and I and others at all of our resource tables and community events. We want to get out there not only to help you guys, but hopefully give some information out to the greater public that doesn't know anything about autism, and so that they can kind of learn and grow as well with us. So.
And then another huge part are our programs. This is another great outreach for us, and I will quickly go through the programs that we have on the slide. All of our programs are free, and they are for anyone residing in our 12 counties, which of course includes Delaware. But we have the birthday club because we love to celebrate birthdays. Who doesn't want to be celebrated? You'll get a card the month of your birthday with just some surprises in it, I'll say. Our ASCO safety box is super important. It's important for us to keep our community safe. So that box is going to come with some door alarms, some window alarms. It's going to come with a lot of social stories. It'll come with seatbelt covers and window clings and things just that will keep your individual who might elope or who might, leave your yard or home. We're just trying to keep them a little bit safer. Lunch with a lawyer is a great opportunity to hop on the call and just ask questions to Logan Phillips, who is one of our retired board members. And it's a very informal hour, and you can ask any questions related to autism or disability that have to do with your child's future. If you want to talk about guardianship, if you want to talk about special needs trust, stable account, anything like that, he is extremely knowledgeable, and you will walk away learning a lot. Our period packs, another awesome program that we just launched back in 2025. It's just so that we can provide some resources and support for those individuals with disability who may be struggling with puberty and with menstruation. I feel as a woman, it's hard enough to do that. When you are not nonverbal, or you may, I didn't have sensory issues, but, adding some of those onto it makes things it can make them a little bit more complicated. So we're hoping that the period pack can give them some support and much needed resources to make that transition of puberty and menstruation smooth. We also have an IEP support with staff. So if you are struggling with some challenges at school, or specifically with the IEP, go ahead and fill out that application, and she will contact you, and we can see what she can do to kind of help support that, and help with any special education advocacy that you may need. Next slide. And then Band Together, Central Ohio, one of my favorites. We do it twice a month at Gatsby's in Gahanna, and it's just an open mic. We invite anyone to come up on the stage and share their talents. What I like to say is we have a lot of people that are very talented, but my favorites are those that are very brave. It's just great to see people come up, especially if they've done it a few times, and just to see their confidence build. If you really don't feel comfortable sharing your talent, we just love to have you come and listen to some of these amazing performers. We provide free pizza and pop, and we have a fantastic audience. And we would love you to either be part of our audience, or if you have a talent to share, we encourage you to step on stage and share that with us. Next slide.
And of course, we're always looking for people to get involved. And it's anything from just coming to one of our support groups, volunteering at one of our events. Right up there, we've got Run the Delaware Turkey Trot. We've got a car show in Delaware in the summer. That's fun to come to, or, get involved with planning. And of course, there's always like us on Facebook. Dig through our website. I always say, look around. We've got things popping up here and there. And as always, there's that donate button in our website too, that's easy to get to, because we want to, turn that into things we can do for the families of Delaware County and surroundings. So, all right, next slide. And
this is our contact.
Yeah.
Yep. Our contact information. We just encourage you to reach out, whether it's on our website, like Amy said, email me, call. That's my number. Love to talk to anyone. We would love to have people become involved and see how we can help.
We're here for you in any way.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know Mackenzie put the Facebook link, the website link, and your email in the chat. Thank you, Mackenzie, for that. And thank you, Jenny and Amy, for being here today.
Of course.
So our next group is Best Buddies. Lily, I don't have a presentation from you. Are we just chatting?
Just going to chat. Yep.
Okay, perfect. That's wonderful. So I will hand off the virtual mic to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Lily Harrison, and I'm the area director for Best Buddies in Central Ohio. So if you haven't heard of Best Buddies before, we are an organization focused on creating inclusive friendships and opportunities for people with disabilities. We have a few different options to get involved here in Central Ohio, but it's all dependent on your age. So we do try to make peer-to-peer friendships, which means we match people typically in the same age range in that one-to-one friendship. So for people who are 18 and younger, we have a couple program opportunities in Delaware County. We have 3 school-based chapters. So if you attend these schools, you would be able to join the chapter. There's one at Olentangy Liberty High School, Hyatt's Middle School, and where's my list? And Westerville North High School. are the 3 chapters that you can get involved in if you go to any of those schools. We're also always looking to open new chapters. So if you attend a school that I did not mention, we can happily reach out to the school to see if they'd be interested in having Best Buddies at your school. So that's our options for 18 and younger. If you're 18 and older, we have 2 different options. Our Ohio State chapter, which I know is a little bit ways away from Delaware County, but it's still a great option. We have a very similar program where you'd be matched in a one-to-one friendship with a peer at Ohio State. So it would be a college student that attends Ohio State. And typically we ask that people are between 18 and 25 that join the college program. They host monthly events throughout the school year, have a lot of fun different socials. Last year they had a prom, which is a ton of fun, but they're always thinking of new ways to get involved in the community, host different events. And then again, you'd be matched in that one-to-one friendship. So you would see your friend outside of those events as well, typically about once a month, depending on how often you want to get together. But they would be, your support through that school year. And then depending on if you really enjoyed the experience, you can continue to be matched with that person the following school year until they graduate. For people who are over the age of 25, we have what we call our Citizens program. So that's a community-based program where we as staff find a buddy or friend for you in the community. So you would apply by going to our website. You would apply for any of these chapters by going to bestbuddies.org/join, which I'll put in the chat after this. And for that, we actually partner with the Franklin County Board of DD, but this is open to Delaware County as well, to interview you, really get to make sure we know you, what your interests are, what you don't like, how often you want to get together with a buddy, all those things. We also do a background check for the person with a disability and the person without a disability, just to ensure the safety of our programs. And then we match you with the best fit that we think you would have as a friend. So again, we try to match people with similar interests, similar age. We try not to go more than 5-ish years apart in age. If gender is something that you care about, matching you with the same gender, different gender, we take that into account as well. And then travel. We don't want you to travel far to be able to see each other. So within about 20 minutes of each other is how we like to make those matches. And then for that program as well, we offer quarterly events throughout the year. Our next event is coming up on January 31st. We are attending the Ohio State women's hockey game as a group. So there are still, and I'll put this in the chat as well, there are still tickets available if you're interested in attending, just kind of checking it out, meeting people, seeing if you like the program. And then outside of those quarterly events, overall, this Citizens commitment is 1 year. So you'd be matched in a friendship for 1 year. And then we are asking that you meet up at least once a month with your friend. Otherwise, there's a bunch of different opportunities, different events throughout the year that we have. Just if you want to come out to an event, see what Best Buddies is like, and get involved. Again, I will put my contact information. My colleague Shannon as well manages our program in the area. So I'll put her contact information in the chat and then those couple links that I mentioned. But we'd love to see new faces in the new year.
Awesome. And I think Mackenzie put the Best Buddies Ohio link in the chat. But
Perfect.
if you want to put your email, that would be great. And we'll make sure that all of this information is also included when we post a link to the YouTube recording as well. So thank you so much, Lily. Our next up is, and Kim, I did just get your email, so I have your PowerPoint pulled up. So our next up is Kim Kirkwood from Changing Spaces, Ohio. So if you'll give me a second to pull this up, we can get you started. I'm going to be like a Teams expert by the time we're done here. Okay. Can we see her? Can we see Adult Changing Spaces give us access? Perfect. All right. I am going to pass the mic off to you, Kim.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Mallory, for being so on it that you got my last minute presentation. I did not realize that we were doing presentations. I mean, PowerPoint presentations. But I have one ready to go at all times. So, um, I'm Kim Kirkwood. I'm one of the chapter leaders for Changing Spaces Ohio. My other co-leader is Jennifer Corcoran. She lives in Dayton. And we started around 4 years ago with our Ohio chapter, and we're part of a national effort to get more adult size or universal changing stations installed in public restrooms. So all of the people, most of the people in our campaign that lead our state chapters are people that are directly impacted by the lack of accessible and equitable changing facilities in our public restrooms. So myself, I have a 12-year-old son who has cerebral palsy and is a wheelchair user and needs to use diapers. So when we leave the house, it's really almost impossible to find a place that I can tend to his restroom needs. He's not able to stand up or balance on a commode. And that's something that a lot of people just never think about in their daily lives is if somebody has a disability or even a medical condition, it could be temporary, it could be lifelong. Where they might, change clothing if they need to lay down or tend to their restroom needs. So we started our Ohio chapter, and we have just been spreading the word and the information about this, educating people about this barrier to inclusion everywhere we go. So my presentation, this PowerPoint, it really just kind of highlights the problem, and then I'll tell you kind of what we've been trying to do to solve it, as well as kind of making allies, making other advocates be ready to go out there and advocate alongside us and in their own communities. So go ahead to the next slide, please. So here's a good visual of what the problem is, which is that standard restrooms are not equitable. Baby changing tables are not suitable for children over the age of 2 or 3. And if you have, a disability and you're not able to use a standard commode, then there's really nowhere for you to lay down and be changed. Many parents will try to use baby changing tables way past when their child should be on them, which is very dangerous. And the fact is that we are hopefully going to be in adult bodies much longer than we're in our child bodies. We get to be our full, grown selves between as a teenager or as a early 20 something. And that's how big we are for the rest of our lives, right? So we need something that can fit adults, not only adults, but teens, little children and babies. So universal changing tables are what we need. Can you go to the next slide, please? Baby changing tables don't work. Here's a few of the people that from across the country that have been involved in advocating in their communities for more accessible restrooms. People young and old and every age in between, wheelchair users, ambulatory folks, just all different kinds of people have this need. Next slide, please. Here's the unfortunate bad solution that we have in front of us, which is laying our loved ones on the restroom floor. This is what we do not want to do. It's undignified. It's unsafe to lift someone, especially like Matthew here in the bottom left corner with the green shirt on. He's an adult and he's heavy. So that makes me think of my own son. I cannot lift him down there anymore. So we're faced with just some bad solutions if we don't have these in place. Next slide. Here's another bad solution, which I've done personally myself many times, which is change your loved one in the trunk of your vehicle or in your vehicle. It doesn't give them any privacy and they're exposed to the elements. This is something that almost everyone that has a loved one or themselves needs to be changed has done, and it's not acceptable to us. So we want to make this change. Next slide. We want inclusion. We want to live our lives to the fullest. Here's one example of a good solution, which is the Momentum Refresh vehicle, which some of you may have seen out and about in Ohio, or it may have been at one of the events you've been at. It is a portable family restroom inclusive to anyone who needs to use the restroom. Has a wheelchair lift, has an adult-sized changing table, has a privacy curtain. It has so many features that I can't even list them all, but that's one good solution. And we want to get out into the community and not let this stand in our way. Next slide, please. So as Changing Spaces Ohio representatives, we try to take every opportunity to educate the public and educate other people that have this need and have never realized there is any alternative solution to changing in your car or changing on the floor or not going at all. So we take our information, go to as many conferences as we can. We have done speaking presentations at lunch and learns and all different places just to try to put the word out of what a good solution is for this. Next slide. What is actually appropriate is a private, dignified, safe, and hygienic changing surface and a private restroom. So here's a picture of, this is our one of our Minnesota chapter leaders with her daughter, Sadie, and that's at Mall of America. So Mall of America now has an accessible changing place, which is awesome. We want to see those everywhere. Next slide. Here's some more pictures of adult-sized changing tables. There's many different models, so many people have never seen one before. So I just wanted you to see what they look like. Delaware Board of Developmental Disabilities, before you all moved, had this same model changing table in the old building. I'm not sure what's in the new building, Mallory, if they moved.
We actually have the, it looks a little, well, actually, I've never seen it like pulled down, but we do have one installed, and then we also have the mobile one as well in our office right now.
Well, that is what I'm talking about. That's leading by example. Love it. Next slide, please. So we've been all over the state trying to hit really like the big places that many people like to go. Kids go on field trips, groups go to. So the Ohio State House and the main library are two examples of places that have installed adult-sized changing tables. And we take our families because this barrier impacts the whole family when there's not a place for our loved one to be changed. Next slide, please. Here's a few more places that have installed the adult size changing tables. And again, they look different, but they all work. Next slide. We hit a lot of libraries. Libraries have been really good about, they're already an inclusive place. So they realize that all people from all walks of life come to libraries, and we've found libraries to be particularly receptive. The Ohio State University, we're chipping away at slowly, but they're tough. They're a tougher nut. They're a really, really big institution. So, but they have installed a couple. Next slide. Franklin Park Conservatory has one, looks like that. It's on the main floor behind the reception desk in a private restroom. So we really are trying to hit kind of the bigger places that lots of people go, and people go on those special weekend trips, or may drive a couple hours to go to, places that are really practical, like hospitals, and then places that we go for fun, because we all deserve not only healthcare and the things we have to do, but the things we want to do together, just for pleasure, for living life. So next slide. That might be my last slide. Oh, okay, there's more. So anywhere we go in our daily lives, all the things we have to do, medical care, shopping, dining, working, recreation, religious, and having fun, we want accessible restrooms in all those places, not just at the hospital or just here and there where people with disabilities go. We go everywhere, right? We want to go everywhere. We want to do everything everyone else does and live our best lives, so they need to be everywhere. So that is a picture of one in a YMCA. Next slide. And one thing that we do through our nonprofit arm that we established is we fund and update and maintain the Universal Changing Table map. So if any of you have never looked at this map, please look at it. I'm updating it every week or two with new submissions that come in from all across the country. They come in, it's really fun to see them come in from all other different states. So please take a look. And when you click on a pin, you can see a picture of that changing station at that place, and you can get directions to exactly how you navigate there from when you go in the front door of the building to that bathroom. So you don't need to rely on asking someone or looking for signs that may or may not be there. You can just follow the directions and find it. Next slide. And really, we have advocated our little heinies off, but we want lots of other people to advocate too. If this is something that impacts you, or if this is something that you just want to be an ally for inclusion, this is something that you can advocate for. If you are setting up an event like a special needs prom, or I always think of the those events that are coming up, the proms. And I'm like, are they going to have a universal changing table? I don't know if they think about that. So think about those people who might be in attendance to those events or those places if you're taking a group somewhere. And the best thing to do is call ahead of time and say, I have a group or I have an individual that I want to bring to this place. Or if you yourself have a disability, call ahead and advocate for yourself and say, this is what I need and I want to come to your building. Would you accommodate me? Would you put something in place so that I can use the restroom while I'm visiting? And that is the best thing that you can do, is just communicate that ahead of time and give them a chance to get that in place for you. And if you hit a roadblock or hit a wall, you can always reach out to myself or my co-leader, Jennifer. You can reach out on our Facebook group we're pretty active on, and ask us for help. And we'll be willing to give you all the resources, all those special phrases to say to try to make that happen. Next slide.
And if I can just do a quick plug while I'm changing the slides, no pun intended. I actually just sent my emails to folks, event planners for 2026. We have 28 uses that we are able of the Momentum Refresh Fan for this calendar year. So if there is any time or any big events in the community that you think this would be a good resource at, please reach out and let me know, because we have lots of uses available, and we really want to hit as many areas of the county as we can. So sorry, Kim.
Yeah, thank you. That is that fantastic drivable mobile family restroom that has a toilet, a sink, a changing table. It has a lift that can lift someone out of their wheelchair and onto either the commode or the changing table, whatever they need. It is wonderful. So many places like fairs and just outdoor like Jazz and Rib Fest, all those kinds of places that may not have, that would rely on a bank of, let's say, porta potties to serve all the people in attendance. Those are like great places for that vehicle to go and then serve people like myself and my son that wouldn't be able to use he would never be able to use a porta potty. I wouldn't take him in there anyway, but I need to lay him down somewhere. So that would allow us to go to that event. So what we ask for is really what our main goal is the permanent installation of a universal changing table in a family restroom, not really in the men's or the women's. We want it in the family restroom because myself and my son, we're different genders and he's only getting bigger. So we want to be able to go in the family restroom. Next slide. And then here's the Momentum Refresh. And we've had some county boards of developmental disabilities kind of set up temporary changing tents with a powered height adjustable changing table inside. So that's something that can be, a temporary, just little Band-Aid while we work toward a permanent installation. But that's something that's also usable. Next slide. And that's it. So we have on our website tutorials that help people to learn more about this so that they can go out in their communities and advocate places they want to go. You know, there's only there's like so many hours in the day for myself and my partner Jennifer, and really literally every community needs to be hit by somebody going around and saying, do you have a universal changing table? We need one. Here's the information. So we need lots of people to take up that cause and go into their own communities and advocate. And we're here to back you up and give you all the information you need. Sorry if I ran over, Mallory.
No, I'm honestly not timing anybody. I think we're running perfectly on time. So thank you, and kudos for the pivot. The PowerPoint presentations weren't required by any means. I am just a visual learner, so I want people to be able to like have the opportunity to have a visual if they want to. It helps keep me on topic, or else I'll just ramble. So that was a nice last minute coming in the clutch. So our next presenter is Jillian Ober. And so I am going to figure out, Jillian, how to with Next Chapter Book Club. So I think I can allow your mic and allow your camera. And so then you would just need to turn them on. And then I will, oh, look at that.
Hi there.
And then I will share my screen and we can get started with Next Chapter Book Club.
Well, thanks for your patience. I'm not sure how I missed that link from you, but thanks for rolling with it here. And I'm also on a loaner laptop, and so I am pressing all the wrong keys all the time. So I'm glad you're in charge of the slides. So I'm here to talk a little bit about the Next Chapter Book Club, and we really focus on helping people with disabilities to enjoy books and friends and the community. So you can go to the next slide. We started, the program started in 2002 at the OSU Nysongers Center, and I'm thinking many of you on the call here have heard of Nysongers Center, but in case you haven't, we are a university center on excellence in developmental disabilities, and we are right in the medical center at OSU, and we provide services and clinics and conduct research and do interdisciplinary training all in developmental disabilities through the lifespan. And so Next Chapter Book Club started in 2002 at Nysongers Center, and then the idea spread quickly over the next 10 years. And there are, while we have about 14 clubs that I coordinate in Franklin County, so I am based in Franklin County, there are many Next Chapter Book Club affiliates worldwide, and we'll have information at the end of the slides here if you'd like to check out what's available in your community. Okay, next slide. So there's a woman that you may have heard of. Her name was Bell Hooks. She passed not too long ago. She's not connected with Next Chapter Book Club, but she's a wonderful writer and educator and author. And she said, in a book club, people can read a book and then have someone else to talk about it with. Then they see that a book can lead to the pleasure of conversation, that reading can actually be a part of the path to communion and community. Next slide. And I include that quote because it does so beautifully sum up what we do in Next Chapter Book Club. We are looking at social connections, that path to communion and community. And the research is really clear on how important those warm relationships are in our lives for our overall well-being. And so to have that kind of, regular hang with friends each week is really important. We define literacy very broadly. So we're talking about everything from reading to turning the page to, following along with a bookmark, talking about the book, all of the activities and behaviors that happen around and outside of the actual reading are part of that literacy experience. And then most of our book clubs do meet out in the community. We do have a couple that have chosen to remain virtual since COVID, because that does work better for them. But most of the clubs are meeting out in the community. It's kind of just our standard three-legged stool model there. So our book clubs meet for an hour a week, same time, same place. We have approximately 6 members in each club, and 2 or 3 volunteers that co-facilitate each group. And I have an ornery kitten behind me, so if you hear she's meowing, I apologize.
I saw Amy's furry friend earlier, so cats are welcome. Cats are welcome.
Okay. So one of the big things that sets Next Chapter Book Club apart from other book clubs is that we don't say that you need to read the book or read a certain number of chapters and then come to the meeting and talk about it. We take turns reading aloud during our meetings. And so that allows members to receive as much support as they need from our volunteer facilitators, who we train to kind of individualize that support. Taking a turn, it's usually about a page, but it kind of varies from club to club. And then we also spend some time socializing. Some of our book clubs spend more than half their time socializing, and that's fine. That's their choice. We don't have a set curriculum, which is great. So, there's no rush to get through a book, to get through a certain number of chapters. It's really meant to be an organic experience for the members to create the kind of group that they want to be in. Okay. And really the hallmark of our program is that we're looking for people with any reading level, any ability level. Our founder, Dr. Tom Fish, was really fond of saying, we take all comers, and we really do. The vast majority of our book club members have an intellectual and/or developmental disability. Roughly about 10% of our members are folks we might refer to as emergent readers, so people who might need a lot of support with the words on the page, with just following along and that sort of thing. And one of the things I stress to our volunteers during their training is that participation looks and sounds different from person to person, and reading looks and sounds different from person to person. And so we're really all about meeting folks right where they are. So we're not a reading class. It's an hour a week in a noisy bookstore isn't really conducive to literacy instruction. So we talk about reading to learn as opposed to learning to read. And so we're not spending a lot of time sounding outwards, but we do certainly encourage learning, and we do liaise with the folks at Adult Literacy Ohio, who is I guess relatively new literacy instruction program for adults with developmental disabilities, which has been a long time coming. And so it's great to have that resource also here in Central Ohio. But we do also have a boatload of, anecdotal evidence and self-report from folks that tell us that they feel like they are reading more and learning, and I think most importantly, they feel more confident in their reading, which stands to reason. If you're doing something, more often, you're going to feel more confident in. And then for folks who, maybe were in school a few decades ago, it's nice to have an opportunity to keep those reading skills sharp. Just a tiny tiny little sampling of the books that are in our lending library at the Nysonger Center. So we have over 200 titles that we loan out to our book clubs. We have about 8 copies of each book, and we started with a set of adapted classics. So that's not the original Little Women or the original, Moby Dick that's 2 inches thick. It's an adapted version that is easier to read and understand. But we also have a lot of books that are not adapted. That is, the original Chronicles of Narnia and Percy Jackson series and the Hunger Games and you name it. Our library has grown really over the years from members who have suggested or requested new titles or different kinds of genres. So our volunteers are called facilitators. We do train them to make sure everyone is included and participating to whatever extent is that they want to. And our volunteers are folks with disabilities. They are students. We do have a lot of OSU students, but a lot of folks who are not OSU students, retirees, and people from all walks of life are involved. So those facilitators complete an application, and I don't suppose this slide is terribly relevant here today, but we do make sure that they are trained in how to implement strategies to support member participation. So as I said, here in Franklin County, we have about 14 book clubs operating currently. We are supported by the Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities. But if you go to the next slide, there is information about, and if you want to put either of those websites there at the bottom in the chat, if you're interested in looking for a book club, a Next Chapter book club outside of Franklin County, you can go to the nextchapterbookclub.org. It's not it's just nextchapterbookclub.org, and find look and see what's near you. The nonprofit organization that administers all of the Next Chapter Book Club or affiliates worldwide is right here in Columbus. And so if you're outside of Franklin County, but you're interested in getting a club running and there's not one in your area, they can help you to do that. And I think that might be it. I may have flown right through that, but
no, it's okay. And we do have one that actually has started within the past year, I think, at the Delaware County Library. So there is one up here in Delaware County, if that is of interest to you. And so it's on their website in addition to the Next Chapter Book Club website as well. So thank you, Jillian. I appreciate it.
Sure.
As I'm pulling up so Dawn is our next presenter at People First, but I actually was a facilitator eons ago at Next Chapter Book Club when I was a student at Ohio State, and it was kind of my little stepping stone into the field. So I am very appreciative of the program and Nysonger Center as a whole, because that's part of the reason why I'm here today. So I get very sentimental.
Thank you for the plug, Mallory. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but yes, Mallory has
We had a small club. I think there was like 3 of us total, but it was small but mighty.
Yes. And I always tell our volunteers to never underestimate the value of a volunteer opportunity. You don't know who you're going to meet and what direction it might send you in. So thank you.
All right, Dawn. So similar to what I did for Jillian, I am going to allow mic and allow camera. So then you'll just unmute yourself and you are more than welcome to share.
All right. As you can tell, I'm at work. So I totally forgot this was happening today. So I just got on the register and it was 12:17. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to present today. So I don't have any slides. I'm sorry. But my group is the Self Advocates People First of Delaware County. We have been in Delaware since 1999. We are a group of people who are who want to advocate, who want to learn how to advocate. So we became a People First chapter, I think last year, back to being People First. It was People First before I joined. And something happened at People First that our group decided we don't want to be treated like kids. The conferences were kids related, like Wizard of Oz, maybe, I don't know what, there was another thing they were saying. And so our group broke away from People First and became Self Advocates. So now that People First is back and stronger and in advocating, we want to be back with that. So we are now the Self Advocates / People First. I'm also on the People First board as treasurer. We meet the first Wednesday of every month. We meet from 5:30 to 6:30 at Creative Foundations. We start our meeting out by how we advocate for ourselves. So we go around the room and we say, how do you advocate for yourself today or this month? How did you advocate? And we have examples of, I advocated at work by taking time off. I advocated to come to the meeting. We don't like go, oh no, that's not, no, we encourage it. And I see advocation all the time. So I see people doing it and it's awesome. One of our members advocated to stop going to a day hab and wanted to change day habs. And I was like, there, you're advocating. They don't know it, but that's advocating. We also go to the State House in March to do the Advocacy Day at the State House. Tomorrow is actually our meeting, coming back from Christmas break. So tomorrow we're going to talk about what do we want to do for the year? What's our plan? We always put in that we want more people. How do we get more people? We have to go out and talk about it. So our group is very small right now. So I'm the advisor and my co-advisor is Joanne Roeder. So I kind of run it basically, but we talk about state issues like, do our providers need wages? How do we do that? We go to the State House and we do it in March. We speak up. We tell our stories. It's important that we tell our stories because who else is going to know but us? And we do a Christmas party. We just had our Christmas party. We do a picnic in the summer. Sometimes we'll hook up with another group, which is not on here. It's called Fun with Friends. Fun with Friends is another group. It's a social group. They meet every Friday at 4:30 at either Alpha or Donato's or Pizza Hut. They play bingo. They do all that. They do games. They do arts and crafts. It's a fun group to be with. So sometimes we'll pair up with them and we'll do a picnic or a dance or something that Fun with Friends wants to do, and we'll go and support them. But we also go out and do we do fundraisers. So we've done Culver's. Culver's been a very good fundraiser for us. We've fundraised at WITS. We've done Texas Roadhouse, but we're not making a lot of money because we don't get the support, but we're still out there trying to make money so we can go to our conference. Our conference is in October. We go every year. It's Synergy, and it's a conference. It's not an advocacy conference. It's more of a, how do we work with people in our field? What do we need to do to work together? We go every year and we have fun. We take different people. This year we took a member, Greg Zybers. He got to go. It was his first year, and it was awesome to see him go. He had fun. We always have fun. I don't know what else. We do go present at high schools. I do have a slide. It's a slideshow for high schoolers, though. We did ACT. We presented to them about what advocacy is. What do you do when you get asked to work overtime at work? You can say no. You have a right to say no. So we teach about that too. How do you advocate in the workplace? How do you advocate outside the workplace? I think that's it. We meet the first Wednesday of every month too.
And I heard there's always good food.
Yes, we go out to eat after. So we meet
Excellent.
at Creative Foundations because Creative Foundations has been so thankful to them for letting us use their space for free. We were trying to do the library. It's always hard to get into the library, get a room, rent a room out and have it. So Creative Foundation was like, well, you can meet at our space. And I'm like, okay, for free? Yeah, all right, we'll take it. So we've been meeting at Creative and it's been working really well. So we're thankful to them. We're trying to get more people in. So it's just a work in progress, but we're here, we're loud, and we're proud.
Awesome. Thank you, Dawn. And kudos to you for just going out of your head and improving. That is very impressive. And so I know we are at 1:00. I was like hastily trying to make sure that we weren't going to get cut off. But so because we have TIFF with Special Olympics. So again, we're going to have everyone's contact information and websites and whatnot. And so if people have questions, feel free to reach out to our presenters after the fact. But I'm going to turn over to TIFF as our final presenter with her. She only has like 45 slides, so I think we should get done here and just kidding, only 4 slides.
I've prepared
but I will
a large
share
essay for
that. And we will have our final speaker. Why am I now like, there we go. Okay, perfect.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for sticking around if you're staying over. My name is Tiff. I am the local coordinator for Delaware County Special Olympics. Go ahead to the next slide. I'll try not to talk too much. Sometimes I get a little crazy. So Special Olympics is actually a worldwide organization. There are Special Olympics different groups in different countries. We are actually under the umbrella in Delaware County. We're under the umbrella of Special Olympics Ohio. So there's all kinds of things that are going on that are local, statewide, national, all the way to global. So just a few quick facts about us. Delaware County Special Olympics, we have about 140 athletes, and we currently offer 12 different sports. So we are just a sports organization. We allow folks to participate. There's no requirements that you have to have. You don't have to have any kind of special skills. You don't have to be a pro at the sport that you want to play. So that's what we're here for. We're here to compete, but we're also here to have fun. We're here to socialize, build relationships, and work with different organizations in the community. So we are open to any athlete who lives in Delaware County. If you are not in Delaware County, that's okay, because other counties have their local Special Olympics organization as well, and we all run the same. So the requirements are going to be the same. We're open to any athlete ages 8 and up. I think we have somebody as young as 10 right now, and then we've got some folks who are up in their 70s who are still kicking butt at bowling. So we've got all different variety of folks. As I said earlier, our athletes come to us with all kinds of skill levels. Some folks are really competitive and they enjoy the sport that they're playing. They want to be able to compete maybe at like state or even a national level. And then some folks come in and they have never tried a sport before and they want to try and see how it is. Our coaches are trained to be able to work with all different types of disabilities, as well as all different types of age or skill level. All of our coaches are volunteers. They are put through a background check before they can coach for us. They also have to go through several different certifications, including like protective behaviors, concussions, different things like that, just to make sure that we are taking full care of our athletes. Athletes are able to participate at no cost. So any sport that you want to play, you can just sign up for. We cover the cost. We also will provide any equipment that you need. We also provide any uniforms. If there are any different types of accessibility that you might need, we can make that happen as well. Special Olympics Ohio offers 2 large events in the state. So there's state summer games and state winter games. So we're actually in the middle of our winter season right now. We're getting ready to participate in state winter games. That happens at the end of February. Both of those summer games happen at Ohio State, and they're really big. There's thousands of athletes from all over the state that come together to compete. They also have fun activities, dances. They will do raffles. They have, different booths with vendors that you can come check out as well. It's a really good time. We also have regional competitions that happen throughout the state. So we will have, different matches or competitions with different counties. Right now we're in the middle of our basketball season, for example. So we have a men's basketball game this Friday. We're going to play against Worthington. We have a women's basketball game on Monday. So we do like local competitions and then regional and then all the way up to state. We have had athletes in the past actually participate in the national games. They just announced at the end of last year that the 2030 National Games are going to be held in Cleveland. So that's going to be a really good time. It's going to bring a lot of publicity to Special Olympics. It's going to be an opportunity for many of our athletes to be able to go to Cleveland and see how things are run there and see what things look like from a national level as well. Go ahead to the next slide. So the different sports that we offer, we split them up by season. Right now we're in the middle of winter season. So because we're in the middle of winter season, it's beyond the point of being able to sign up for those. But we do basketball. We typically have a men's and women's team. If we get enough younger athletes to join, we also have had like a school age team as well. So we do try to keep people in an age group for certain sports just because it's a little easier to teach certain skills. We also introduced cheerleading again this season. We have aquatics, so swimming. And I see your email now, Mallory.
What was my email?
Yeah, it's your email. I can present on that if you would like, but I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I was unprepared. That's okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
I'm like, I sent you an email. No,
No.
Dawn left, and then I think she tried to rejoin, and so she had emailed me earlier, but she couldn't log on. So I was double checking to
Gotcha.
make sure that she hasn't trying to get in touch with me.
No problem. So yeah, we have swimming as well. And then we have bowling that happens in the winter. We are getting ready to start our spring season here. Signups will probably go out in a month for spring season signups. That includes track and field, bocce ball, powerlifting, bowling, and volleyball. Bowling is probably no surprise, but that's our biggest sport. We have about 50 athletes that do bowling in the springtime. And then summer, fall season, we have softball, golf, and soccer. Special Olympics Ohio is working on introducing a couple new sports, hopefully this year or next year. So they're looking at pickleball, and then they're looking at cornhole in the fall. So those are really cool. And as we can set up teams, that'll kind of be a learning experience for all of us. Go ahead to the next slide. So how to join, it's really, really easy. So if you go to our website, which I have listed on there, you can find all of this information as well. The first thing when you go to our website that I would do is join our mailing list. Because you'll receive updates from us as like signups are getting close or, different things that are going on, whether it be fundraisers or other fun events that we're doing as well. Anybody who's a new athlete who's participating for the first time, you just have to complete an athlete registration form. and then a medical form. And the medical form has to be signed by a medical professional. But once you get those things done, and both of those are also on the website, the medical form is good for 3 years once you get it completed. And then the registration form just has to be completed every year. And that's it from there. So then when you see the signups come out, you can just sign up and we'll give more information. We like to have like meetings for everybody to join as it gets closer to the time for a particular season of sports, just to give you guys the information, make sure that you know what that's going to look like, how things are going to go. If you're not sure and you would like to maybe come in and hang out for a practice, you're welcome to do that. My information is on here. You can email me, you can call me. I strongly recommend you text me. I get back to you faster that way. But, you know, we have set it up where people can just come and join a practice and just see how it goes, meet the coaches, and see if it's something that they're interested in before they commit to signing up. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for sticking around. I am always love to hear about all the different opportunities and whatnot that we have here in Delaware County and in Central Ohio in general. So I want to give another words of gratitude to all of you for being here today. I will make sure that when we get this posted, that we will send it out to all of our presenters so that you can share amongst your communities and your networks as well. But I hope everyone has a good rest of your week, a good 2026, and I hope to see you soon. So I'm going to end the event, but thank you all and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Mallory.